So hello and welcome to today's Thankful Thursday. So today we're going to be talking about yoga for sciatica. So this is a gentle kind of practice. However, it's meant for if you're used to having it kind of chronically or something. So if you have something that's really painful going on, obviously honor your body. Obviously I'm not there with you, so just honor and take care of yourself. Follow any advice, any indications, contraindications that a doctor has given you. And if you are feeling some severe stabbing kind of sharp pain, of course, please do back off. But this should be, and there'll be places where you can kind of modify it too. But this will be kind of a gentle kind of practice to stretch out our sciatic. So to begin, let's bring our hands into Usha Mudra. So you're just going to interlace your fingers and kind of rest them down in your lap. You can even place the hands just like so. And then lengthen up through your spine. You can soften the gaze or close your eyes completely. Let's begin to take those nice, deep, three-part breaths. In yoga, we call it Dirga breathing. We're inhaling, filling the belly, expanding the ribs, bringing the breath up to the collarbones. And then reversing the direction on the exhale, drawing the navel muscle slightly up and in, compressing that vagus nerve. If you're a yogi, you're welcome to add the ocean sound, the ujjayi, by constricting the back of the throat. It feels kind of like you're fogging up a mirror. So just taking those nice deep breaths, knowing that this hand position in yoga is known as Usha Mudra, which is gesture of the dawn. It's going to be drawing the energy and the awareness through the first 5 energy centers or chakras, from the root all the way up to the throat. This is also going to help to allow the breath to flow unobstructed throughout the torso, encouraging that deep diaphragmatic breathing. And that supports the nervous system, as you know, gets us into that rest and digest. So it helps us to foster ease and a keen awareness, while inviting mental clarity and a mood of acceptance in. And if you like, you can repeat the following mantra silently to yourself. I open myself with love to all of the beauty and possibilities that await me today. I open myself with love to all the beauty and possibilities that await me today. Maya Angelou said, "You may not control all the events that happen to you, but you can decide not to be reduced by them." And isn't it interesting, I wonder if you already know, that we all experience moments where things seem to be piling up on us or falling apart. Times when we feel out of control. And it is funny because we really do not have control over anyone or anything other than the way we react. You know, in nature, when something untoward disturbs an animal from reaching the prey she was hunting, or when a baby bird can't quite seem to get the hang of using his wings, they do not become upset or angry or have a tantrum because things are not going their way. They continue on with their day or their quest for food, or their learning to use their wings until they achieve whatever goal or mission they are on. What would it be like to accept any difficulties that arise without attaching all of the emotions, all of the limiting beliefs? To just move onwards, knowing that this too shall pass and that sunnier times will return. So I'd like to invite you to breathe into any areas of your life you might be struggling with a bit at the moment, and pause while thinking or saying to yourself, this too shall pass. I've got this. That's right, nicely done. And then gently coming back to the room, maybe shaking the hands out a little bit, opening up those eyes. So the first position we'll be moving into is sometimes called cobblers, or Badakanasana, bound angle. So the soles of your feet are together. You can tell it's cold in Florida when we got our long socks and leg warmers on. So when we have sciatic issues, seated forward folds or standing forward folds are contraindicated. So we're not going to be folding forward, we're just going to be kind of holding and breathing here. Now if it's too uncomfortable, you can always place some blocks. If you don't have blocks, you use cushions too underneath, but we'll only hold for about 5 breaths today. So just keeping the spine nice and long. You don't want to be slouched down. So you're getting that stretch in the hips here. About 5 breaths. You can add that ocean sound if you like. Maybe you're even lengthening the exhale just a little bit, putting yourself into that relaxed state. one more. Nice. So just go ahead and gently help your knees to come together. Place your hands down and very slowly just let your legs windshield wipe if it's comfortable for you here. I'm going to take one leg forward and we'll take the other one across. So we're coming into a seated Matsyendrasana or seated twist. So if you're having any discomfort, feel free to straighten the bottom leg and just back out a little bit. So if your right leg is on top, your right hand will come behind you. You take your left arm around or over to the side. Press into the back hand. Inhale to lengthen. And then exhale and gently twist to the back of the room. Inhale and lengthen again. Exhale, gently twist. One more time. Inhale. Exhale and twist. Slowly come back to the center and we'll switch those sides out. So bringing the opposite leg around. And settling in. Arm comes around either way. Left hand will press back. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, twist. Inhale again. Exhale and twist. One more. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, twist. Slowly come back around. We're going to come into our table position now, so all fours. And feel free to do a few cat-cows here to stretch out the spine, nice and gentle though. So the only kind of forward fold that is not contraindicated for sciatic is going to be our downward facing dog. So we will press up into our dog. You can hold dog for even up to a minute here. You can let the neck hang heavy with gravity. Maybe walk out the dog. The shoulders are working, taking those nice deep breaths. So remember, we don't want to be doing standing forward fold. So we're going to come into a warrior two by lifting the back leg. I'm going to use my left leg and then bring it forward and open up into a warrior two. That way we didn't come through that standing forward fold. So we can hold our warrior two for our 3 to 5 breaths here. And then if you have a block, you can always use your block. I like to do, we'll move into Ardha Chandrasana or half moon. I like to teach half moon, especially for sciatica, against a wall, but we don't have a wall in camera view here. But if your back were up against a wall, you could really flatten your back out and then lengthen and stretch it out. So another 3 to 5 breaths here. This is going to stretch out your thighs, your glutes, your back, your hips. And then step back to your warrior two, Birdie 2. We'll cartwheel it down. Step back to your downward facing dog to switch to the opposite side. So you'll inhale that right leg up, bring it through. I'm going to switch mat sides, but you'd be facing the same one. And then finding that Birdie 2 on this side, another 3 to 5 breaths. And then moving into your half moon on this side, so Ardha Chandrasana again. If you have the wall, that does make it really nice. And then step it back. Cartwheel down. We're going to return to that downward facing dog here. I'm going to return to the side I'm used to teaching. And we'll lower our knees down. And slide back into a nice child's pose here. You can spread the knees if you like, or keep them where they are. I like to shift my hips a little bit. Just taking a few deep breaths here. I feel like you can even rock the forehead back and forth across the mat. Hands can go back as well. Whatever feels good to you here. So you're stretching out the hips here, the glutes, thighs. Nice. So we're going to slide onto our bellies here. Have your feet about hip distance apart, really activating the legs, pressing the toenails into the ground. Hands are next to your ribs. Lift up into a gentle cobra for about 30 seconds, breathing. And then lower down. So you can move into a locust pose here, lifting everything up to stretch it all out. Lower down and rest. And then again. Lower down, we'll do one more. You can always do one leg at a time if that's too much. And then lower down, rest. I feel like you can bend the knees and reverse the windshield wipe here. So sciatica can come from either the sciatic nerve, but it can come either from the hip or the back. So they have one diagnostic way that they use, and it's called the FAIR thigh test. FAIR stands for flexed, adducted, and internally rotated. So if it's your right leg, my right leg would be the one here that I'm demonstrating, so the right leg on the top, and you get into this position where your knee is down, and then if it hurts the hip to lift the knee up, especially if you had like a weight, if I had like a bag of a sandbag on here, and that was, then they would say it would be more piriformis than lower back. So that's one way that some folks say that you can tell where the sciatic comes from, because it can come from the hip or the back, so that can be confusing. All right, so I just wanted to mention that because I thought it was pretty interesting. So we're going to come onto our backs, that being said. And if you have a strap, that can be useful. If you don't have a strap, you could always use a towel. Also, a block is a nice prop. So just getting nice and flat on the back, taking your time getting down there. So take note if you have enough room under your lower back to press a hand under. A lot of us have that natural curve. So if that's the case, we're going to kind of do some somatics here. We're going to press the lower back down so it can't, and then arch it, and then press it down. Arch it, and press it down. Arch it, and one more time, press it down. And then come into that neutral spine for a moment and just notice where you're at. So as we stretch our hamstrings, we are going to press the back of the back into the ground. So we're going to keep the left knee, we'll start with the right leg lifting, so keep the left knee bent. So you can take your strap or towel and loop it around the bottom of your foot. See what it feels like to take it gently up, and then begin to bring it towards you, stretching out the hamstrings, so keeping the leg fairly straight. Just taking some nice deep breaths, shoulders down. So if this is easy for you, you can begin to slide the bottom leg out, but keep your lower back pressed to the mat. And if it's not working out, then keep that left knee bent. And just about 3 to 5 more breaths here. Nice, and then bend the left knee once more. And slowly release the left leg. The right leg. We're going to bring it into that supine pigeon. And so pausing here, you can add a little bit of pressure, stretching it out. Just noticing how it feels. So if this is enough for you, you're welcome to stay here. If you need a little more, you can reach behind, threading the needle. Another 3 to 5 breaths here. And then slowly let that go. Stretch the legs straight up. Bend it. Straighten it. Point and flex the foot. And then bend the right leg. And we'll take the strap around the left foot. Begin drawing the left leg in. Nice deep breathing. After 3 to 5, if it becomes comfortable, keeping the lower back flat, you can begin to stretch that right leg out. If that's not comfortable, then keep it bent for the next 3 to 5. And slowly bend that right leg, release the left strap, bring it into that supine pigeon here, opening up. If you need more, and if you are really open, you can always begin to straighten the leg, but just use caution and move nice and slow, deep breathing. And then lower the right leg and take the left up. Slowly keep the lower back in, stretch it out, point and flex the toes, point flex, and then bend both knees in. And you can hug the knees just to wherever it's comfortable. It's going to stretch your hip flexors, it's going to release your lower back. You can rock it out. Oh, we're also using Deep Blue. I like the rub-on, but they have a nice, doTERRA has this nice kit, the relief kit that has the capsules, some of the packets of this, as well as the Deep Blue rub. So that's a nice addition to any kind of, muscular tension, pain in a class. So then we'll take our block and we'll place it in between our thighs. So you don't want your block in between your knees, you want it kind of lengthwise in between your thighs. And you can squeeze it and let it go a couple times. It kind of opens up the hips a little bit. I kind of get a release in my lower back from doing this as well. All right. So we're going to be moving into some very gentle bridges, Badakanasana. So you can lift. You hold for a breath or two. And then slowly lower. And again, lift. And lower it down. Again, lifting. Gently lower. 2 more lift. And lower. 1 more. Lifting up. Maybe going a little higher. And then gently lowering all the way down. You can release your block. You can do a few of those somatic arch and tucks here. Nice. So we're going to take our legs into kind of a crisscross here. Be like our cow face on the mat if you're seated. And then just pull them in, getting that stretch just to wherever you're comfortable. You can also use a strap if it's not easy to reach the feet, or just getting the stretch. And then gently switch the sides. Release. Again, if you want to hug those knees in and rock it out. And then place the feet down wide on the mat, knees together, press the legs away. I like to move my head around for my neck issues too. You don't have to do that. It's a nice little neck stretch for me though, especially these. It's cold here in Florida. Alright. And then go ahead and stretch your body all the way out, lengthening up. Try not to knock over anything. So if you're close to a wall, I'm going to be using a block for this, but if you're close to a wall, legs up the wall, the Birdie Careening. So I'm going to use the block. You can also have a block if you're at the wall or a cushion, but we're going to pretend my legs are on the wall. And you can actually spend 20 or 30 minutes like this. We're only going to spend a little bit of time today. Just taking those nice deep breaths here. So we'll do about 3 more breaths here. Gently lowering the legs. If you're on the wall, you'll have to slide off the wall. You can windshield wipe those legs one more time. Lengthen it out. And then to move into your Savasana, I suggest putting a rolled up towel, a bolster, a blanket underneath your legs just to get that little bit of pressure off. It helps flatten out your back. It releases the muscles in the hips a little bit. So taking a moment and getting into that final resting pose, that Savasana. Feeling the whole body resting on the ground, the back of the head, shoulders, muscles of the neck melting and relaxing, as if though there's a cushion for each and every vertebra. Hips and buttocks softening, legs relaxed. Top of the body light and at ease. And sensation to the mouth, upper lip, lower lip, the space between the lips, the inside of the upper teeth, lower teeth, tongue, jaw, relaxed, the inside of the cheekbones, hollow tubules radiating from the inside of the cheeks to the outer peaks and valleys of the ears, bridge of the nose, tip of the nose, right nostril, left nostril. The difference of temperature between the inhale and the exhale. Both nostrils, hollow and empty. The eyes, orbs of sensation, shimmering energy. Upper lids, lower lids. The space between the lashes. Brow, forehead relaxed, eyes sinking deep within the head, into that universe where anything is possible. And tracing an invisible line back from the brow, through the scalp to the nape at the back of the neck. Shoulders, upper arms, heavy and sinking. And elbows, wrist, grounded and relaxed. The hollowness of the palms of the hands, and all of the tiny bones that make up the fingers. Right rib cage, left rib cage, the hollow notch at the base of the throat. Breath flowing in from the crown of the head all the way down to the tips of the toes, releasing out anything you no longer need. And then breathing in from the soles of the feet all the way up to the crown of the head, drawing in universal energy, healing energy. And that's right. So whole body relaxing on the ground, back of the body, and sinking in. Shoulders open, back relaxed. Hips open, legs relaxed, thighs, hamstrings, knees, the hollow space behind the knees, shins, calves, the looseness of the ankles, gratitude to the soles of the feet, positive healing energy radiating from all 10 fingers and all 10 toes, whole body resting on the ground. Slowly allowing the breath to return to normal, inviting little movement back into fingers and toes, maybe little wiggles, or even beginning to circle wrists and ankles. If it feels good, you can move the head gently side to side, maybe lick the lips. On an inhale, stretch arms and legs out long and tall on your mat. On an exhale, hug the knees in for one final lower back rock. And then make your way to a fetal position, whichever side is most comfortable for you today. Pausing here, recalling any intentions from the beginning of class. Thanking the body for all it does. Pausing to see something kind and loving to yourself. before we do come up, make sure you engage your core as you're lifting up. Even though we're using our upper body strength, we're going to start practicing that if you do have any kind of hip, lower back, hamstring, sciatic piriformis thing going on, so that you can be using your core muscles as well when you're getting up out of bed or out of a low chair or anything like that. So then taking the elbow closest to the ground and the hand, engage your core, use your upper body strength as well as your core here, even though you don't really need it, to walk the hands around in a circle, coming back to seated. If you like, hands can come to the heart center. We can bring our thumbs to our forehead for honest thought, lips for honest speech, and back to the heart for honest intention. And namaste. The light in my heart shines in the light in yours. So I hope you enjoyed our little short Thankful Thursday today. Again, if you have sciatic pain, make sure that these kind of exercises and stretches are okay with your doctor before you go ahead and really torque anything. But in general, it's fairly safe, kind of stretchy, and lots of modifications. So if anybody has a topic for next week's Thankful Thursday, feel free to reach out. I'm always interested in what you guys are wanting to hear more about. I'm available for private yoga, Reiki, hypnosis, NLP, aromatherapy, also doing yoga therapy now, and it can be done Zoom or in person. We have a sound bowl healing meditation this Sunday here at 7 p.m. We're not going to be doing a breathwork in December with all that's going on in the world. We might add a yoga nidra on a weekend though. We'll see what happens. Other than that, I appreciate you all for being here, and I hope you all find something to be thankful for on Thankful Thursday. Namaste.